So it's been a while, and I went on a video deleting spree because a lot of my videos were way too long, and there was like 5 stories in one video, and it just really wasn't necessary. So I'm going to retell some of the stories that I deleted, especially ones that were responses to things I get asked very frequently. So something that I get asked constantly as a paranormal enthusiast and somebody who has had probably literally hundreds of experiences, and I know people who have had experiences. I have a lot of stories in my noggin, but something that people always ask me is what's the scariest paranormal experience I've ever had. Even though I've had a ridiculous number of experiences, there is one that always sticks out in my mind and that still creeps me out when I talk about it. The only reason I'm comfortable talking about it right now is because I'm not at the house that it happened at. I'm at my dad's house. So, first of all, I got my first Ouija board when I was like 13, and my sister and I used it, and my sister is like a lot of years older than me. She was probably like 24 at the time. I mean, not that really makes that much of a difference, but I don't want you to think like you were just a couple of 13-year-olds playing with a Ouija board, because no. My sister has had years of experience with Ouija boards. My grandmother used to use Ouija boards, and we very much believe that if you use them properly, they do work. And so we were using it one time, and I'm not going to get into exactly what he was saying because it's kind of a lot to go through. Sorry, I keep thinking I'm hearing people pull into the driveway. But basically he indicated that he was buried in the basement. But not meaning like recently. Like, we're guessing that it was probably before the house was even built. Like how houses sometimes accidentally get built over Indian burial grounds and stuff like that. So this is who I think the apparition was that I saw. Also, my sister has medium capabilities. I know that a lot of people are really skeptical about that, and I understand. I do, but I really 100% trust and know that my sister can do this. I have seen her talk to random strangers and just know things about family members who have passed and deliver messages saying things that she would have no idea about otherwise. And I really trust what she says, and I've seen her mind at work hundreds of times before, and she's amazing, really, and she gets a better visual of what happened to people or what people looked like than like I would. And so she said that she sort of had this vision of the guy in the basement. She said, and I believe she actually physically saw the apparition too, of a guy in like early 1900s farmer clothes carrying a shotgun. But she said, he's not dangerous, even though he's carrying a shotgun. He didn't hurt anyone, but he was probably killed with the shotgun. So the reason I'm telling you all this is because this is the spirit that I think I saw, because it was in the basement. And my bedroom used to be in the basement. And this is the scariest paranormal experience that I've ever had, but listening to me describe it might not do it justice, but whatever. I'll tell you anyway. So, I was in bed one night and I was having trouble falling asleep. I was laying on my side facing the one wall, and I remember turning over and I saw a guy standing at the edge of my bed. He had short, dark hair. He was wearing what I think looked like a sort of plaid shirt with overalls or suspenders, more like overalls probably. But I remember seeing him standing there and his eyes were just bulging out of his head. I don't know how to describe it. He looked like Peter Lorre, like his eyes were just huge, like popping out. And he looked, I don't know if I should say angry, but the look that he had on his face was horrifying. He was just standing there staring with his eyes bulging out, and I didn't know what to do, because there's not much you can do when you see an apparition besides get really scared. He was just standing there, and he did have something under his arm, like sticking up, that might have been the shotgun my sister was talking about, but I didn't know because I didn't look for long enough. I pulled the covers over my head and closed my eyes and was just desperately hoping that he would go away. And when I pulled the covers off my head, he was still standing there. And I knew that it was a spirit and not a real person, because he was kind of, he was somewhat transparent. Like he looked like a real person, but more so like grayish and transparent. But so anyway, when I looked again, he was still standing there, and I was horrified, didn't know what to do. I didn't want to talk to him and tell him to go away. I just pulled the covers over my head again and closed my eyes, and I didn't look back for the rest of the night. So that's the scariest paranormal experience I've ever had. I never saw him again after that. His activity is ridiculously rampant, so I've experienced activity on his hand since then, but I have not actually physically seen him since then. But yeah, pretty sure it was that guy, and however he died, he was presumably shot and buried on that ground. So that's the end of that story. I hope that you were sufficiently creeped out. I know that I didn't tell it very well, but anyway, have a good day. I'll see you next time. I'll try to post more videos. Bye.